Could the Big 12 South champions this season come from Oklahoma? From Stillwater, Oklahoma? Should you take the Oklahoma State Cowboys seriously? And as of October 6, 2010, I say the answer is yes. Hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. Yes, for anybody who didn't take Oklahoma State University seriously on the college gridiron, well, the question of if you should take Oklahoma State football seriously for the doubters, I think that question has been answered. With only 3 games left to go in the Big 12 season, the Big 12 South leader is not a team from Austin, Texas, and it's not a team from Norman, Oklahoma. It's a team from Stillwater called Oklahoma State. Just like I did in the video that I aired a month ago, in which you saw some excerpts from it at the beginning of this show, should you take the Oklahoma State Cowboys seriously? Let me go ahead before I go any further by giving you the following disclaimers. I do not have a second favorite college football team, and I do not root for Oklahoma State University. I want to get that out of the blue. I'm basically saying what I'm saying as an observer, and while I don't root for Oklahoma State, I do respect them, and I do respect what they've done this season. Unbelievable. It was supposed to be a rebuilding year. New offensive line. You lose Russell Okung to the first round of the NFL draft. You lose Dez Bryant, the everything wide receiver. The only good thing about the Dallas Cowboys this year, considering how bad they are. You lose Keith Toston, an all Big 12 running back, and you lose one of the best quarterbacks you've ever had in Zach Robinson. This was a year where Oklahoma State, in nearly every major publication, was picked to finish 5th out of 6 teams in the Big 12 South. I even saw one publication where Oklahoma State was picked to finish dead last in the Big 12 South. So who's laughing right now? Yes, there's still plenty of football left to go, but the Oklahoma State Cowboys have never had a better opportunity to win the Southern Division and to reach the Big 12 championship game. They better do it because this is the last year of the Big 12 title game, because next year it's all one division. And in addition, there will be no Big 12 championship game because of that, because there's not going to be a North and a South division. We aired that special a month ago, should you take the Oklahoma State Cowboys seriously, because even though it was still a team that hadn't quite proven themselves, in September you can tell some things were better than expected. Number one, of course, the offense, the up-tempo offense, the offensive coordinator Dana Holgorsen has implemented. He's handled the play calling, not Mike Gundy, the head coach, and you could see that running the ball, and especially throwing the ball, it's a lethal offense. Another big reason why Oklahoma State is 8-1 right now is because of the play of the receivers. Justin Blackmon is one of the best receivers in the country. In fact, I will say it right now, with all apologies to Ryan Broyles of Oklahoma, Justin Blackmon is the best receiver in the Big 12, period. I think another reason, too, why you have to say this Oklahoma State team is a lot better than expected, they've been able to handle adversity. Going to Kansas State without their all-everything receiver, Justin Blackmon, and still finding ways to win, knowing that they weren't going to have their number one threat to throw to. And number 4, it's a defense that, even though I still think there are some deficiencies, it's a defense that will take chances. Bill Young, the defensive coordinator, will blitz more times than not. On third down, they probably should blitz a little bit more, actually, because I think sometimes they get a little too laid back on third down. But they are a defense that will give you different looks. It's a defense that will mix up coverages on you, so you can't always expect to see the same thing if you're the opposition. Oklahoma State's defense will take chances, and at times, like in the A&M game about a month ago, in which the game was tied, and A&M was driving with under a minute to go, Oklahoma State brings in an additional defensive back that was key because the Cowboys intercepted the pass and then got in field goal range. Their field goal kicking has been terrific. Bailey has only missed 1 kick this year for the Pokes. He's been just incredible from short and long distances. And the play of Brandon Wheaton. And right now, you'd probably have to say that he's going to be in line for first team all Big 12 quarterback. You might say Taylor Martinez of Nebraska, but Martinez has been hurt for part of the year. He hasn't been able to play all the time, unlike Wheaton. And, of course, the reemergence of Kendall Hunter, whose ankle injury last year really limited him. Several games he didn't play. He did play against OU, but played very little. He was not 100%. He's 100% now, and you can see how that's paid off. Oklahoma State offensively is lethal, special teams dangerous, and defensively improving. Another reason why I'm airing this report is because even though I know a lot of Oklahoma State fans are convinced that this is the year that they're going to beat Oklahoma, and they might have thought of that a few weeks before now, that they could beat Oklahoma, there are some fans who are already saying Oklahoma State's going to find a way to blow it. And this is not coming from OU fans or fans of college football. It's coming from several Oklahoma State fans I've already heard from, either through message boards or in person, saying Oklahoma State's going to find a way to lose because they haven't been able to ever win the Big 12 championship or get to the Big 12 championship. We can't ever seem to beat Texas. Even when we've had big leads against them, we cannot find a way to beat the Longhorns. What I would say to those Oklahoma State fans, if I could, if you're thinking anywhere along those lines, to stop thinking along those lines. That's part of the past. You can't do anything about it. That's one thing I would say. Second, if you're really worried about the Texas game, don't be. Texas is a proud traditional program. They recruit very well, and I know that they're not going to be down for very long. But this year, Texas is horrific. They absolutely stink. There's no reason why Oklahoma State should not waltz into Central Texas on Saturday on a national TV audience and not only beat Texas, but beat the tar out of them. This is not the same Texas team. That's obvious. It's not a good team. It's not an average team. They are horrific. You can ask the average Texas fan, the most diehard Texas fan, they'll tell you that this year is a complete lost cause and an embarrassment. So, Oklahoma State fans, unless somebody out there knows something about Saturday night that I and millions of other college football fans don't know, this should not even be a game. It should be a beatdown administered by Oklahoma State. Now you might be thinking, well, what about OU? Lost 7 in a row to the Sooners in Oklahoma. I know they play bad on the road, but they're still a good team and they've had our number. One thing I will say to any Oklahoma State fan who might be feeling this way, there are probably more out there that feel this way than you might admit. You know, Texas A&M, they had lost 7 in a row to Oklahoma, and if you'd watched that game last Saturday, did Texas A&M look intimidated? Did they look like a team that had doubt in their mind? Did they look like a team that said, we're going to lose 8 in a row to Oklahoma? They punched my Sooners in the mouth very early, got off to a 9-0 lead, and then ended the game by kicking my Sooners. And believe me, that's painful to say. So you can't think about streaks and past history and blah, 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 all that stuff. Oklahoma State will be at home against the Sooners 2 days after Turkey Day. And right now, based upon the way Oklahoma is playing, and that's not to say that Oklahoma can't win the game. It's not to say that Oklahoma can't pull it all together. But if these teams were to play today in Stillwater, OSU's favored to win this game. They're favored to win, no question about it. It's going to be a very loud environment at Boone Pickens Stadium. And if you're Oklahoma State, the players and coaches, I'd be willing to bet my paycheck that they don't have doubts right now that they can pull this off. So for OSU fans who have doubts, you need to erase those doubts out of your head. If you have enough money, and if you're free the weekend after Thanksgiving weekend, you might want to get your ticket and make reservations for Arlington, Texas in the Big 12 championship game. This, of course, is barring that Oklahoma can play a lot better on the road and can finish the year with a bang. But right now, you have to take not only Oklahoma State seriously, but you have to say that they're the favorite in terms of the Big 12 South to win the whole freaking thing. So We wanted to follow up that report from over a month ago in which I said, should you take the Oklahoma State Cowboys seriously? If you haven't had an opportunity to watch it, that's no problem. You can go to www.youtube.com/theousooner56. Also, I'm going to link it up on my Facebook page as well, because I know a lot of you who are watching this report haven't had a chance to watch that October report. Again, I'm not an OSU fan, but you would have to say, even if you don't root for Oklahoma State, that Mike Gundy should be the Big 12's Coach of the Year. This was not supposed to be a great year for the Cowboys. And we also aired that report a month ago because, hey, this is unfamiliar territory for the Pokes, okay? But you can't just live on past history and say, this is who we are. Focus on the past, you focus on the present, and this follow-up I felt like it was very important to do right now, because at the time I aired this report, I think several people thought that I was absolutely crazy for thinking that you should take Oklahoma State football seriously. But in early November, down the home stretch, who's laughing now?